If only I could go fishing down the river again. Up before the sun with a can of worms, running with my friend. Scurrying down the riverbank, taking our positions on the bridge, hoping for that redfin, £1 to put in Mama's fridge.
Welcome to High Tide, brought to you by Blake's Marine.
Where the warbler and the dragonfly knew us like they knew the river bend.
Check out the range at blakesmarine.com.au.
But as sure as yappies bite your toes, this boyhood story had to end.
Good morning. It's the Fishing Fellas at High Tide. To all the Coast FM listeners this morning. Well, what's the weather going to bring for us today and this weekend? It looks a bit hazy, daisy outside as we got out of bed, and maybe a storm or two on the horizon. But certainly, it shouldn't deter you from getting up now and going for a fish, a boat, or just going for a walk along the seashore or the shoreline of any waterway to enjoy the little vista right now. It's part of our little health and wellbeing checks we do to get out and about and exercise. So, guys, where are we going to go to today? Who are we going to talk to? And what information are we going to share? Alan, Grant and Kieran.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, we've got an action-packed program today, jammed full of interesting content. We'll get to that very, very shortly. Alan Blake, how was your week?
Oh, very good. It was nice and warm. Now it's cooled down. A little bit of rain for the weekend, so that'll slow us down a little bit, but it's only a few weeks to Christmas.
And things have been busy at the shop.
They're starting to heat up now.
Mostly in the maintenance department, people getting ready to get out onto their boats.
Yes. Amazing the amount of wheel bearings and discs we've gone through lately. Everyone's fixing their trailers up if they haven't used them for a while.
That reminds me, I want to get my boat out onto the water. So when can I book it in, Blake?
Thankfully, you're at the other end of the Hawkesbury.
We had that discussion a few weeks ago, Grant.
Yeah, and I bet you it's still happening. I bet you the phone's still going off. Mate, I'm going away next week. Can I get my boat in on Monday?
That normally happens about 2 weeks before Christmas.
Good morning, Mr. Riki. How are you?
Morning, Grant, Alan, Malcolm, and of course, don't forget our loyal listeners. Now, the weather gods, well, they're making it hard to follow, aren't they? So, if in doubt, just don't go out, but enjoy yourself.
Thanks, Kieran. Let's kick the program off.
On High Tide, time now for a fishing report.
Tackle World, down at Unit 155 Townsville Street, down there in Canberra, reporting on the local lakes like Burley Griffin, Burrinjuck, Googong, Tuggeranong, Yarravie Ponds and Ginninderra. They're all producing some yellow belly and the carps there as well, along with the redfin. Still a bit interesting about what happened at Googong with at Burrinjuck with that fish kill. So I haven't heard much more about that. Yugambeen and Jindabyne are going okay. Water levels are fluctuating. They were steady last week, fluctuating this week. Worms and power bait seem to be the main ones to produce. The Murrumbidgee still mainly reports coming out of people catching cod, putting them back. The odd yellow belly being caught there. The local ponds are going good with redfin yellow belly, and still they're catching cod there. They've got to go back. Ocean Hut, the complete angler store at 23 Graham Street at Narooma. The lake, well, that's around about 21 degrees. Flathead have been good. Jewfish have been good. Brim, whiting there as well. Salmon, plenty of salmon about. The mouths have been good for brim, salmon. Trevally, good big flathead being caught there. Great run of prawns. And don't forget, they've been probably the better bait, and the prawn lure is working very well. Off the beaches, you'll find salmon, tailor, brim, flathead in some nice gutters. Good jewfish have been caught there. If you move down the edge of the beach, down to all the rock walls there, you'll find some nice brim being caught as well. Off the rocks, there's salmon, tailor, blackfish, drummer, brim, all happening outside. Good run of snapper. they're everywhere. So's the flathead from about 30 metres out. Out deeper, around the fads, you'll find the dolphin fish. There's been some marlin spotted, some caught. Around the island where the water temperature is up around the 20s plus. The kingies are there, the snappies, moe, plenty of bait still running around. Longfin perch are out there as well. So it's all happening. Now, it's still good run of flathead down at Wallaga Lake. Coromara Lake down there is good for garfish. Good run of garfish this week there. Churros has still got flathead and jewfish there. And just take this on board. The closed lakes, the flathead are in the deeper water. That report from the Ocean Hut, the Complete Angler Store, 23 Graham Street at Narooma. Bateman's Bay is very similar. Yep. The river's fishing okay, good brim, flathead, jewfish, some salmon there as well. Off the beaches, salmon, brim, jewies. The rocks, you'll find salmon, brim, blackfish, drummer. And out wide, of course, the snapper and flathead are out there. Tamworth Fishing with a great outdoors tackle store out there at 15 Roderick Street. All the dams are full. They had a bit of rain, 30-odd mil during the week. So they're up, keeping Chaffee, Split Rock, all 100. Glenbourne's 100, St Clair's 100. Copeton is 81%. Windermere's 90. Pindari's at 71. All producing some catches of yellow belly. In the rivers, the Namoy and the Peel, they're still fishing good, a little dirty and a little higher, but still working well. The spinners, the lipless crankbaits, small hard body lures and grubs, all producing. And Glenbourne, good, very good run of bass on the surface. On the surface lures, working well. St Clair's very similar. The trout streams, E-Ball's good. Glen Innes, Mundell, all good. Don't forget the cod season, still close till the 1st of December. That's from Tamworth Fishing Tackle and the Great Outdoor Store at 15 Roderick Street at Tamworth. Fishing Tackle Australia at 144 the Pacific Highway, Coffs Harbour. Are saying out wide, yep, the marlin are out there, there's blues, there's blacks, there's stripies, they're all out there. The dolphin fish are out there around the wave rider, or wave recorder, as you want to call it. Plenty of snapper in close. 60 metre mark's been a good run of snapper, pearl, perch, kingies and dragline. Around the island and the lighthouse, you'll find the kingfisher there as well. Live bait's been the better way for catching them. Off the beaches, there's brim, whiting, jewfish, dart, tailor, rocks, there's brim, blackfish, bonito and drummer. The rivers, down the mouth, flathead, jewfish are being caught there as well. Brim are there, plenty of trevally about, GTs, big eyes and all that. And good sizes, 80 centimetres plus. The whiting are there. Mangrove jack, good run of mangrove jack down at Urunga. Flathead caught down there. Trevally caught down there as well. Upstream, you'll find the Clarence is probably the best for the bass. Now, at Coffs Harbour in the marina, you'll find brim, trevally, mangrove jack. In the harbour, there's brim, trevally, and whiting. Whiting on that little beach. Use the worms, though. And their reports on Copeton Dan, good yellow belly being caught out there. And Pindari, as we mentioned earlier, is good. Very good trout at E-Ball on small soft plastics, and the fly fishermen are doing exceptional. Narrabeen Bait and Tackle at 1469 Pittwater Road at Narrabeen reports Pittwater. Salmon, brim, flathead, kingfish, trevally. Jewfish are running up and down in the Hawkesbury. Bridge was good last week. Lion Island's been finding some tuna around there. Off the beaches, the northern beaches that is, in Sydney, whiting, brim, flathead, tailor, dart. Off the rock areas, there's kingies, drummer, snapper, brim, blackfish. Outside, naturally, you'll find the snapper are out there, trag, bonito, jewfish are out there, some kingies around Longreef still. There's been some bonito, moes and pearl perch reported during the week as well. The dolphin fish have been out there, dolphin fish around the traps and the fads as well. Those marlin have been blacks and stripes. In the lake, still closed, but there's brim, flathead and whiting caught. The reports that they got from their fishermen out of Sydney Harbour, salmon, kingies, bonito. West of the bridge, there's been bream, flathead, jewfish and salmon. That's from Narrabeen Bait and Tackle of 1469 Pittwater Road at Narrabeen.
You're listening to the Fishing Fellas at High Tide on Coast FM. Lots of things are happening around this time of year, Mr. Blake. And our next guest has been on the move.
Yeah, he's been on the move, been a friend of the show for many years, and he's different positions he's worked his way up to, and now he's the head of AMSA, which is Australian Maritime Safety Authority. Alex Burrell, good morning.
Good morning, Alan, Malcolm, and Grant. Yeah, look, not quite the head, and not that's a bit of a promotion, but yeah, look, taking up a new role.
Take it, mate. Take it. We'll write your resumes. Don't worry.
My new boss might not like it, but no, taking up a new role as the executive director of the response division within AMSA, which is it's a great role and something I'm certainly passionate about. The opportunity to lead search and rescue at a national level and work with our sort of state partners is really exciting for me. And only 2 months in, but really enjoying the challenge and the opportunity.
How do you find the difference coming from marine rescue going to AMSA?
Yeah, look, it's a good question, Alan, and I think my time that I spent at Marine Rescue gave me a massive appreciation for the work of the volunteer network nationally and the role that they play in our national search and rescue system. So now to take that across and be working with our Joint Rescue Coordination Centre, which is responsible for Australia's search and rescue region, and I'm sure many of your listeners know it's probably one of the biggest search and rescue regions in the world. It's nearly 10% of the Earth's atmosphere. So it's a huge responsibility for our dedicated search and rescue officers to make sure that we're equipped and well prepared to deal with any of the responses that come about in our region. But to bring my learnings over, many years, I guess, in the police and New South Wales Maritime and across at Marine Rescue New South Wales has put me in good stead.
Okay, so where you were preventative at Marine Rescue, you're more reactive at AMSA, or is AMSA still helping before things happen?
Yeah, look, there's a lot of that, to be fair, and my role within AMSA is not just search and rescue, it's also around a lot of the preparedness that we do in the big ship sort of casualty management, how we're positioned to respond to any sort of marine pollution response incidents, and as well as making sure that we've got the right capability nationally to deliver our responsibilities. So other things that I look after is our network of search and rescue aircraft, some of our emergency towing capability nationally. So it's quite a broad role, but it is about being prepared as well as the response aspect.
Okay. And what sort of hints would you have for people to stay out of trouble?
Yeah, and look, I mean, now working for the national body, the message doesn't really change. It's about being prepared and it's about putting safety front of mind. And one of the big things I know from an AMSA perspective and how that feeds into our Joint Rescue Coordination Centre is really around the carriage of EPIRBs or beacons, and that's whether you're on the water or on land. We know that they save lives. You gentlemen would be across that so much, and it's important that you've got the right beacon for what you're doing. It's important that they're registered, and most importantly, it's very important that you know how to use them. And we see beacon activations every day in our Joint Rescue Coordination Centre, and the team there respond so quickly, and we just see the benefits and how they save lives on a daily basis.
And they're not that dear to buy a beacon and maintain it. And when AMSA sends you a reminder after 2 years to say, can you update your details, please? Take the time and update your details.
Oh, it's just so important. Unfortunately, we see a lot of inadvertent activations, so people accidentally doing it, and then when we're going in to try and locate the people or get in contact, when the details aren't right, it just prolongs our ability to do that. So particularly in a live SAR or an emergency situation, it's all about intel gathering for our team. So the quicker we can get our hands on the information, make contact with some of your shore-based contacts, it really just helps us prosecute that rescue in a timely manner. So you're right, it's important that you know how to use them, that they are registered. And one of the great things, you can jump onto the AMSA website and you can actually go into the beacon section and you can put in what you are going to be doing, whether you're operating on land or in the marine environment. It can help you choose the right beacon, and obviously gives you the benefits around particularly leaning towards a GPS-enabled beacon, so that, you know, that MEOSAR and GeoSAR sort of satellite system, the COSPAT-SARSAT system, which allows and detects the beacons. It gives you the information around the importance of that. And again, we just know that they do save lives.
And the important thing is too, if you're disposing of a beacon, if it's past its use by life and you're not getting it recharged, it's only a couple of screws to pull it apart and disconnect the battery. And that way you won't get an unauthorised activation.
Yeah, that's it. And you've got to dispose of them correctly. And again, on our website, there's so much information about how to do that. And it is important because a lot of times they do lead to inadvertent activations. It's quite often that we see them going off in tips and places like that. So it does waste time, and it takes our team away from, responding to real live incidents.
Alex, a question I've got is, I'm just thinking about my beacon on my boat, and I'm wondering how I would accidentally turn that on. I don't understand how I would accidentally turn it on.
Yeah, look, people bump them. They press buttons if they're not familiar. If they're not stored or stowed correctly on your vessel too, they can bounce around. You all know, particularly on smaller vessels, when you're out there in a little bit of a lump, your boat bounces around, so they can be set off that way. So there's a whole range, and it's important that you do check them. You know how to test them, that the batteries are good, and as Alan said, that they're registered and all the details are correct. So as I said, unfortunately, we see a lot of inadvertent activations, and we don't want to discourage people carrying them. We just want to make sure that they're carried correctly, people know how to use them, and if they do accidentally set them off, that they know how to turn them back off.
Some good tips there, Blakey.
Alex, I've had a couple of people saying, why do I need an EPIRB? Because I've got a mobile phone. But once you get a couple of kilometres off the coast, you can't triangulate a mobile phone, can you? It's not as reliable.
No, that's it. And again, if you end up in the water, quite often your mobile phone won't work if it's not in a waterproof pouch. And it's important that you've got that beacon with you. It goes straight into our Joint Rescue Coordination Centre. It's a 24/7 well-equipped centre that's got all the connections into the state jurisdictions. We can get rescue assets active, within minutes, particularly if they're GPS coded. Your position is so accurate. It gives you so much more detail than mobile phones, and that's why they're just such an important part of any safety equipment, particularly operating vessels offshore. And as you guys would know, it's actually a regulation in most states that you do carry them more than 2 nautical miles. Yeah.
Alex, a point to make out to people, if someone's buying an EPIRB for someone for a present that they like to go fishing and things like that, or even land-based, a GPS-activated one is, 100 square metres, the radius where they've got you, where the old style was 5 square kilometres. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's it. So it's accurate within 120 metres, and that information, as I said, coming through the COSPAT-SARSAT satellite system, it's within minutes, and it's straight into our Joint Rescue Coordination Centre. Most people wouldn't have seen our Rescue Coordination Centre, but there's a lot of screens, as you would imagine, and it can come up. We see those beacon activations instantaneously come up in our search and rescue region, and it allows us just to get the wheels in motion and get rescue craft to the people in distress.
Yeah, I know if I need to let an EPIRB off, I'm in trouble, and I want to be found within 120 square metres, not a 5 square kilometre range. It's a big difference.
Absolutely, and particularly, if unfortunately you've had to abandon your vessel, you're a small target floating out in the ocean, it's to have that accuracy just certainly will save your life.
Yeah, it will. Alex, thank you very much for your time this morning. Have a safe and a quiet Christmas.
No, same to you guys, and great to chat again, and look forward to chatting soon.
Okay, thanks. Alex Burrell from AMSA, Australian Maritime Safety Authority.
Time now to catch up with Mr. Alan Blake of Blake's Marine and get our tech tip for the week. You've got a really good one this week, Mr. Blake. Tell us about it.
Well, it's a basic one that you learn through mistakes normally, but it's towing a trailer and how to do it and what to do and how to back it up. So if you've got a trailer on the back, a little trailer like a box trailer is a lot harder to reverse than what a long boat trailer is, because if the distance between the wheels and the car to the back wheels to the trailer, if that's shorter, it reacts much faster. If it's longer, it reacts much slower. So if you're backing the trailer somewhere, whichever way you want the trailer to go, the front of the car has to go. So if you want the trailer to go to the right, the front of the car's got to go to the right. Once you get your head around that, you'll find it's a lot easier. Also, if you're not sure, go down to your local Woolies, Coles, supermarket car park or big bottle shop and just practice getting it between the lines there when there's no one's around, there's nothing to hit, and think, okay, I want to go here, I want to go there, how do I do this? And if you do that, you'll get a bit of confidence and you won't be so embarrassed if you muck it up at the boat ramp. And we've all mucked it up at the boat ramp, so don't be too embarrassed if that happens.
It's funny you mention that, Blakey, because when I was growing up, I grew up at Matraville and they just built the Port Botany boat ramp, ramp down there at Botany. And at that stage, it was all gravel and things like that. Nobody really used it back then. Mm-hmm. And my dad, because you could tow on your P's in those days and all that sort of stuff, we whacked our boat on the back of a car and he took me down there and we practiced backing in, pulling out to get used to it and get used to the idea of thinking opposite to what your steering wheel needs to be. It was great training. It's worth doing.
Yeah, look, most definitely, but that's the trick. Whichever way you want the trailer to go, the front of the car has to go because it's a natural thing. And small bites, not big bites, just small changes.
And it's, as you know, whether it's, you're flying, whether it's driving a car, whether it's, skippering a boat, familiarity also breeds confidence too. Once you've been around and done it a few times and you're no longer fearful for it. And when you pull up at a busy boat ramp and everyone's, come on, mate, get your boat, I'll go on you. You can be intimidated by that. So if you've got you know how to do it, it's going to be a much more pleasant journey for you.
That's right. And also, you want to be able to have someone else with you who can do it as well in case something happens to you or you're not feeling the best or you have too many drinks so that someone else can tow the boat home.
Thanks, Blake.
I'm calling you, Malcolm.
I don't know. That's a good idea, Blakey. Too many drinks. You should be on the road.
Well, no, but that's where you're not. You're not going to be. If you had a couple of drinks and you think you're not safe, get your mate or your wife to drive. And it's always a good thing to, that's the same I say to people, it's always good to get the wife or the partner to have a boat licence so they know what's going on the boat as well. They're not worried about things because they get
it's
a bit of knowledge.
It's not so much about having a plan B if you want to have a few little drinks. It's also about practice makes perfect.
Well, that's right. It's just, it makes sense so they know what's going on as well. They feel much more comfortable and pass it on to the kids or the friends that are with them, so there's no problems.
As we spoke about weeks ago, it is about making sure that anyone on board knows how to handle the boat just in case the skipper goes down with a stomach bug or something.
That's right. And speaking of those, there's a great new thing out. While we've got a bit of time, I'll talk about it. Garmin, I think we mentioned it, they've got a new man overboard device, which is like a watch that goes on like your Garmin watches.
Yeah.
And you can wire it into your ignition system. And if you fall over the side, it cuts out the motor. So you can get back to the boat. Also, you can link it to your Garmin products where it'll put a position on your chart plotter with a man overboard. So if you're out at sea or something like that, actually you know where the person is because you can't always see them if they get away from you a little bit. There's something to look at, and a good little present, Christmas present, about $500 or $600 for someone who goes solo boating all the time.
Outstanding idea. Absolutely outstanding idea.
Additional tech for those people who want to be safe savvy.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. But if you got blokes that fish 20, 30, 40K offshore by themselves, if they go over the side and they're not wearing a cutout lanyard, they're gone. But if the motor stops, you're half a chance to be able to swim back to the boat and get back on board.
Yeah.
There you go. Something to think about.
Thank you, Mr. Blake. Much appreciated.
You're welcome.
This is the Fishing Fellas at High Tide on Coast FM. We're fast approaching that time where we all head off on a bit of a holiday somewhere. Some people like to go north, some people like to go south, Mr. Blake. And if you go south, we can tell you exactly where to go fishing.
I normally tell you where to go, but it's not fishing. But we can. Let's go to Greg Reid. Good morning, Greg, down south.
Punch on that one.
It's great to have friends. I'm going to buy some for Christmas.
Oh, no, mate, you left yourself wide open there, Grant.
I usually do.
But no, everybody's friendly. We're going to welcome the tourism tsunami.
Until they get in the boat ramp.
Yeah, well, you know, that's where you just take your deck. There's your scorecards and a six-pack.
Yeah.
It's good value entertainment. But anyway, seriously, this weekend, It's bizarre that Christmas is coming around so quick, though, isn't it? But this weekend, look, we've pretty much just got northerlies on the coast at the moment. That high will just sort of settle out into the Tasman a bit south of us. There's a bit of an area of low sort of coming across the Bight at the moment through sort of South Australia, and that's going to cause a bit of a ridge. So we've got nor'easters today on Saturday. It'll go around a bit more to the south on Sunday, late Sunday afternoon. It shouldn't be too strong, but I think it'll be a little bit uncomfortable if offshore boating's your thing. The water north of Jervis Bay is rather warm. Could be anywhere between about 19 to even 21 degrees. South, the water's actually warmed up. I jumped back in the water again at the start of the week. Got some good tubes at Aussie Pipe earlier on in the week, fellas. Let me tell you that for nothing. But the water south of the bay in Wreck Bay, that really cold 15.1 or 15.5 that we had there for a couple of weeks, that sort of cleared out. So it's probably this cold pool of water trapped between sort of Wreck Bay and Ulladulla that didn't want to shift, and that's shifted out a bit now, though the water's still pretty green down there. But thankfully that shifted out, and hopefully these southerlies, that if we get some southerlies, particularly next week, that's going to really push that water out, because we could do with some warm water in there at the moment. Main thing is there was the dark last night, so we're on to the new moon today. What do we got? High tide this morning at 9:56, which is 1.84. So those big morning tides straight up to the back of the moon, if you're chasing kingies, probably the middle ground around Point Perp. Slow trolling some slimies or yellowtail would be the go. And as you're slow trolling the slimies or the yellowtail, I'll give you the old pro tip. If you don't have a deck hose, just trim your motor up and travel at really low speed. Create a whole lot of bubbles on the surface. It looks like a bait ball, and that'll attract the kingies up to the top. And while you've got a livey in the back, make sure you've also got someone else up the front if you're fishing with someone else that's throwing around a nice big jerkbait style lure to attract a whole bunch of attention too. Because generally you'll catch a rat down here before you'll catch a size limit, because the kingfish stocks have been pulverised. But anything on a 1 ounce jig head, around about 30-pound braid and 40-pound lead is a good place to start, and cast that around. Just pretend you're jigging like a knife jig. And if you get a fish, just leave it at the side of the boat for a little bit, and hopefully after that, then your liveys tend to go off. But if you can have a deck hose going over the side while you're slow trolling, or at least trim the motor up and create a bit of froth on the surface, that can bring the fish up to the surface if they're sitting down low. But that early morning, that big tide earlier on in the morning too, like the 30-metre mark, I reckon at the moment it's going to produce some snapper, and all the flatty guys have been going all right over the last couple of weeks too, drifting out the centre of the bay, or from the centre of the bay, or from middle ground out towards sort of 40 to 60 metres with the bait. A lot of crew down here still like to use the old carp, fellas, for flathead bait, because it sticks on the hook pretty good. So you get two benefits there. You get a day trip up to Kangaroo Valley to go and sight cast some mud marlin, and then you can come down the bay and put it on a hook and take it out into the deep water and convert that into some nice tasty blue spot and tiger flathead as well. Beaches are still going okay by all reports. Plenty of salmon and tail around. I'd like to be off the back of the moon, off the back of the dark a little bit when those tides come round to sort of sunrise and sunset for your beach fishing. But, you can do worse things than getting sand between your toes this week. In the basin, it's heated up a little bit more, although we had a cold day yesterday on Friday. It was 13 degrees yesterday morning after that southerly came through, but thankfully a bit of rain, which is good, to sort of put out that fire that we had close to us here during the start of the week that threatened the retirement village. But the basin's heated up a bit. It's a bit of an edge bite at the moment, I reckon, after the dark. And I would definitely look, if you can't get a flathead on the cast at the moment, that traditional, hop, on the weed edges with a soft bait, definitely go the troll. Trolling is such an underrated technique. And for those who do it in this part of the world, they absolutely clean up on a regular basis. I'm a massive fan of it. I got my biggest fish this time last year on the troll. So you just need some hard bodies. In the pro lure range, that'd be the Calca 82, which is, it was built as a barra lure, but it'll dive on 10-pound braid. It will dive down to anywhere between 4 to 6 metres. So you shouldn't have any problem at all bouncing the bottom in 3 to 4 metres. Good flatties on the edges. And hit your crankbaits for the flats for bream. It's still a bit too early for the whiting at the moment. We need 24 degrees in the basin for the whiting to really fire up on surface, but you might get the odd one on the flats at the moment. Given we've had a little bit of rain this week, not much, wouldn't be a bad idea to be up past the hospital anywhere for perch and bass on the Shoalhaven River. But, all in all, should be pretty interesting off the back of the dark. Just keep your eye on the weather if offshore boating's your thing, because it'll be a little bit bumpy with the nor'easter, but the estuary is certainly going to be the place to be this weekend, chaps.
Greg, tell us a little bit about what's happening with Pro Lures?
Well, we've just had a restock on the ever faithful clone prawn. Fair to say that the clone prawn is really the lure that kicked off the latest prawn craze for a lot of different brands. I might be biased, but I reckon you can't beat an actual live prawn that was cloned. So the restock for that in all your favourite colours coming back in next week, and we've also got one new colour to add to that range. It'll be the golden shrimp. Check that out in all good tackle stores, and while you're at it, check out, we've got a couple of new sizes for the hard-bodied hybrid shrimp. Got a new 92mm size coming out in that as well, which is going to really slay some fish over the summer. So get into all good independent tackle stores and BCF, and check out prolureaustralia.com.au.
Greg Reid, thank you very much for that. Look forward to catching up with you next week, and keep going with the Pro Lures. You're listening to the Fishing Fellas at High Tide.
This is the Fishing Fellas at High Tide on Coast FM. Mr. Blake trying to catch up with the gypsy. I say a gypsy because he's coming down to the broadcasting area this week.
He's normally up around Southwest Rocks, and I think he's going to be in the local area in the morning this morning. So we'll find out. Laurie McAnally, good morning.
Good morning. Yes, I'm staying at the Mantra at Booker Bay there.
Lovely.
Yeah, very nice. And I'm fishing on Haven Charters on Freedom on Monday, going to see.
With Scotty.
With who? Yeah, Scott
With
Torrington.
Scotty.
Yeah, he's a very good operator. Let me tell you. Anyway, the reason I'm coming down is actually for the gathering of the clan for the family Christmas party on Saturday or today, whatever it is. And then Neville who used to be from Bilpin, he organised a fishing trip he organised a fishing day out with Scotty. So we're going to do that. So sandwiches and cold drinks, and I'll just enjoy a day on the ocean. Someone else can drive. It's good.
Laurie, just speaking about that, a lot of people say, well, I've got my own boat. I don't need to go out in a charter boat. But going out in a charter boat is good every now and again, isn't it?
Let me tell you, I fished with Scotty last year. You fish with Scotty Torrington, you will learn heaps. I learned heaps. So there you go.
Yeah.
He does stuff I don't do. He does a lot of live baiting. And dropping, comes over he's got about 60 or 70 grams worth of echo sounder. He finds the fish and you drop the live bait straight into the kingies, and he'll say, wind up, he can see your sinker. Wind up another 10 feet, please. And he said, yeah, right, they're around your bait now. Bang. No, he's terrific. I really enjoyed the day out with him. Hey?
Technology.
Yes.
Technology. Well, he's got all this really unbelievable Garmin gear. He's got side scanning radar, a sonar, and he's got this mega sounder. And if you're down, he's on the deck. He's up top on the fly bridge. But in the passenger area, there's a 32-inch screen, so you can see what he's seeing on the sounder.
Yeah.
A relay screen.
Yeah.
Anyway, all good fun.
Where's the fish been this week?
Okay, the fishing. When did we fish? Tuesday. Not as good as it has been, but my wife always kicks me in the shin when I say that. What did we have? We had 8 snapper and 7 trags and half a dozen flathead and a big pearl perch, so that was good enough. But the current is running from the south to the north, dropped a couple of degrees. So the bottom fishing has not been as good as it was, and you have to scratch around a little bit. You have to look and spend some time at them. There's still plenty of, if you're a game fisherman, there's a heap of yellowfin and striped marlin out along the 100 fathom line, 200 metre line. and a bit wider than that. Just look for the birds. The birds are on the stripies, and the stripies are bring the tuna. So just if you're keen on game fishing, and there's a few people up there, there's obviously the word's out. There's a few flash boats running around, but they have been getting these nice yellowfin up to about 45 kilos. So, and a few big mahi with them. So no, there's a bit out there. Although the water temperature is only 20.7, so it was 22 and a bit. But anyway, that's that. So offshore's good. The big kingy run at Fish Rock has eased off. There's not nearly as many fish there, and they're not as big. So, but that's to be expected this time of year. And what else have we got? No marlin. No black marlin yet. It's a bit early. They're getting plenty of snapper down at Black Rock of an afternoon. Just pull up at the bottom end there and burley up. You come in from the south and you'll hit a big ridge. So just drop out onto the deeper side of the ridge and you'll find the reddies. What else is there? On the beaches, beach formations are beautiful. Not huge amounts of fish, but there's a feed there. There's whiting, brim, dart, a few flathead, and no tailor. So, but that's okay. And in the river, I've been catching plenty of school mulloway, no legal ones. Plenty of those fish from sort of 56 to 62 or 3. And a lot of flathead. There's heaps of flatties. A few good ones. I've had a few fish around. I had one the week before when I did my last report, about 7 kilo. But I've had heaps of fish, sort of 60, 62, 3, 4. So there's plenty of flathead and a few big eye trevally, which will liven you up on light gear. So no, the fishing generally is pretty good. So all in all, I'm looking forward to a good weekend, and then when I get back next week, I'll go and catch some more fish. Oh, I've got my birthday next week. I'll be 70. How good's that?
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Oh,
It's birthday today too.
Yeah, well, mine's next, whatever the 3rd of December is. I've got a few school teachers, they're all dead now, but they were certain I wouldn't get to 25. But anyway, I've got this far, so it's okay.
Well done, Laurie. Well done.
I was always expected Laurie to get 30, but they still haven't caught me, the police, yet.
Yeah.
yeah, you can be, you're supposed to grow up, whatever it is. I think you can be immature forever, but you still grow up.
Grow up disrespectfully.
The one thing for people coming to South West Rocks, I was at our boat mechanics this morning, not for my boat, I was putting Terry's boat in there. And just if you're coming up, please make sure, you've had a service on your boat. He's actually pretty much booked out. We'll be open over Christmas and New Year, but, if you run into trouble, you'll be in the line. You won't. He doesn't sit around the garage all day waiting for you to turn up with a broken down boat. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, book your boat in for a service now, so when you go away, it's all ready. You don't have any problems.
Yeah, well, I get mine serviced at the end of September every year, so that I don't get in the queue. And they try. Look, the mechanics try and be as nice as they can to you, but if he's fully booked for the day for service, and you turn up with a boat that won't start, he's not going to just drop everything to fix you up.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It doesn't work like that.
Yeah. And I've been known to say to people, when they ring up, but you've got to fit me in. I said, well, who should I ring, or who do you want to ring and tell them that they have to wait because you're more important?
That's right. Anyway, all we do at Christmas time, we get people the exact usual story: bad fuel, frozen steering, or no battery.
Yep.
And they're all your problem.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they are.
That's right. Yes.
And and the bloke he always says, "When was the last time you used the boat?" Oh, Easter.
Yeah. Recipe for disaster.
Yeah, but you'd think if you were towing the boat from Sydney to South West Rocks, you would at least put the muffs on a week before and just give it a kick in the ribs just to give it a run and check that everything's working. But they just clip it on and off they drive.
I've had people do that, start them up and run them, then get to the boat ramp and the steering's frozen because they didn't bother to turn the steering wheel when they're running.
Yeah, there's heaps to that. But that one's fixable. You can fix that one. You can disconnect the steering and tap it gently with some W.
Sometimes, Laurie, if you mushroom the end of that Bowden type cable or telephone cable, it's a throwaway, or if you bend it. So you got to be careful.
No, I'm talking about the bit where the sort of idler arm connects. Just tap it gently.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All I'm saying,
be very gentle.
Do your homework. do
Okay.
your homework, do your service, and you'll have a much better holiday.
Yes.
You'd be surprised how fruitless it is to tow an 18-footer from Sydney to Southwest Rocks and tow it back and not use it.
Also, the grief you cop from the boss and the kids.
Oh no! You'll get the alarm in the left hand lug hole. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
All
it.
right. Anyway, I'll let you go, and we'll catch you next time.
Good luck on Monday, Laurie. Have a great weekend.
I will. Okay, guys. Thank you. I'll give you a good report off Scott Torrington's how we went with Scotty next time.
Yeah, looking forward
Okay,
to that.
thanks.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
Laurie McAnally from Southwest Rocks. You listen to the Fishing Fellas on High Tide.
This is the Fishing Fellas at High Tide on Coast FM. Blakey, time to go down the south coast.
Not that far down the south coast, down to Kiama and find out what's happening. Captain Roscoe, good morning.
Good morning, listeners. Good morning, crew. How is it up there, mate?
Warmer than
Wedges?
down your way.
Oh, are you at the marina?
No. I'm just saying, but I'm further north. But it's warmer up here. My kids are down at Coaldale for the weekend, and it's cold.
Oh, yeah, it'll be cold there, mate. Jeez. But yeah, so this morning ain't real good, but you know they got wind coming up later too, which might be a problem for the guys that are out to get out now. While the just on the break, because I think you'll get away with the morning, maybe a bit less than the morning, but they got up for 20 knots in the morning. So I don't know. More than likely morning, a thunderstorm. More than likely, that's for Sunday. So I get up early and don't venture out too far. See what it's doing. 25 k's is nothing in a boat like I own, but it would be in a smaller boat. And if you are going out, make sure you got all the gear with you.
Yes,
Right, our guys in the surf club down there are sick of going out and bring the boats back on the back of the go-getter,
Yeah.
But but there've only been a handful, so overall it hasn't been too bad. But we are getting up into the silly season now, so it's time that we all looked at what we had. I think personally,
Good idea.
Fishing wise, they've been going all right during the week, actually. The rain we got down here is sort of slowed them up now. But the rivers were good. They were getting flathead everything in the river down at the run-in. Further up, they were getting the good not mowies. Oh, come on, guys, help me. Yeah, the little ones that we all like.
Flathead?
Sardines?
We don't have to put butter on them. They're real juicy. I was trying to think of what they are. Anyway, they got them around the river up there, around the where the water runs through. So that's a good spot. Anywhere in the Winnamurra at the moment is good because with the water, it pushes bigger fish in, brings them up further up the river too, and it's very safe up there. There's plenty of places to stand where you're in easy place to get to. Good for your car parks. You can park your car there, and it's great for the kids because if it's a nice hot day, they can have a swim as well. So I'd look there for the weekend unless you have a reasonable sized boat and you can get out, or you can get out early and come home early. You'll get a lot of flathead again at the moment. They're really boosting this year. I think it's going to be a bumper year of them, mate. The snapper enclosed. They're at the entrance there. They're also in front of the blowhole, but don't get too far in there. There's a place that runs out about what? I'm just trying to think of a measurement, mate. That if you line up the little blowhole and start on the outside of the bigger blowhole, you tend to go across it. So, but it's all pretty safe there, provided the wind stays like they're predicting. If it starts to blow up at all, just move out further away from it. But there's some good fish there. Down the other end, the boys at I've got to go down there this week. I've got to go and have something for lunch down there, mate. Yeah, just remembered that. Oh, beauty. Yeah, the boys put a thing on every Christmas down there. And all the blokes from Kiama that can't afford to eat go down for it. So usually the ones that can't afford it are the ones running the boats. Work that out. It's good down there on that little edge. And with the right conditions, it's quite safe again. But you know what the ocean can do? It can jump up and bite you anytime it likes. And there's also 9 Mile Beach, mate, all the way down there. Just if it's a small swell, take a nice, decent rod down there and give her a flick over. You'll pick up something. A lot of flatheads everywhere at the moment. I don't know if they're getting them up north, are they? I haven't heard if they're getting great amounts of them up north. But they're definitely active around here, mate. Good stuff. With this wind, I don't know how can I put it? Just be very careful with it. Don't. Oh, it's only 20 knots. No, not from the southeast. No. But just be very careful. I don't want to read about people in the paper. That goes right through till after Christmas too. Just be a bit alert, whatever an alert is, but be one. We don't want to fall into habit like we have in the past, where every Christmas we lose a few, you know. So I think that's a good thing that I mentioned it. I think all our people that get on the radio should mention it. The other one I forgot to mention was the run out at the harbour. They're getting everything in there with the rain, and it's quite safe there. I wouldn't let the kids go down their own unless they're, seasoned fishers. But they've been getting a lot of good stuff through there. A lot of flatties and a lot of just legal. Most of them are going back, but just legal snapper. So, yeah, that's a good little spot for them. Mate, I think this will go through. I've had a look have you looked at the forecast, mate?
Yeah, it's not pretty all the way through.
A decent Christmas this year, you know.
Oh, that's too far out for me. Like the Bureau can tell us what's happening in 100 years, but can't tell us what's happening next week.
Yeah. Well, see, this wind's not too bad here today, but it can change very quickly if you're out there too far. Yeah. But, yeah. So that's about it, I think.
Okay, thank you, Roscoe.
No, not a problem. It's always a pleasure. I hope everyone has a great weekend.
Sure we will. And you enjoy yourself down on the South Coast. Thanks, Roscoe. Captain Roscoe from down at Kiama. You listen to the Fishing Fellows at High Tide.
Blake's Marine has become Australia's most reputable marine dealership, a family and owned operated business that services the Greater Sydney and New South Wales community. Blake's Marine is also Australia's largest Stacer dealer who stock and recommend only the best outboard technology from the industry leaders like Yamaha and Suzuki. They stock an extensive range of new and used boats, outboard motors and accessories, and a spare parts range that is very comprehensive. With a fully equipped workshop and qualified marine technicians, Blake's Marine just makes boating easier. Have a listen to this special.
If you're looking to repower your boat this Christmas, we've got some great deals on from Suzuki and Yamaha, above 115 horsepower, free rigging kits up to about $4,500 worth. So don't miss out. Get in before the 1st of January, blakesmarine.com.au.
It's a boat show every day.
Except on Sunday, Blake's Marine, 1 Railway Road at Mulgrave, or give them a call, 02 45 77 6699, or maybe check out the webpage, blakesmarine.com.au.
Oh, well, what another show, done and dusted. As Alan Blake's Christmas isn't very far away. That man in the big red suit's going to deliver us some, hopefully, very exciting presents come Christmas Day or Christmas morning. Or maybe you can go out and buy yourself a few and throw under the tree. A bit hard to put a boat, I know that, or a motor, or maybe some bigger things in terms of the fishing side of things, but you can always hide a fishing reel or two or a few lures under the tree, or even put the fishing lures on the tree as some decorations. Alan, Kieran and Grant, what are your plans for the rest of the day? I know that it's going to be a little bit foggy and a little bit damp, but hopefully we can find a place where we can do what we want to do.
I sort of got a philosophy, Malcolm. Why buy a tree when you could buy a new rod?
You can always hang the lures off the eyes of rod runners.
Instead of decorations, we'll just put coloured lures everywhere. Do you do that, Mr. Blake?
Yes. Yeah, coloured lures. Good.
See, look, it's really easy to play with, isn't it?
That's right.
Alan, thank you so much for your time this week. It's been fantastic to have you along, as always.
It is always a pleasure. I hope everyone's enjoying themselves and getting ready. I think the kids have only got 3 weeks before they go on holidays.
Oh, you're looking forward to it, aren't you, having the kids around? I can see this.
Yeah, we have great fun over Christmas time and the holidays.
See, he's a smart grandpa, Malcolm. You know what he does? He brings them over, fills them up with sugar and hands them back to the parents. That's gold.
Well, that's what all grandparents should do.
That's it, yes.
Mr. Reiki, thank you so much for your time today.
Hope you found the program informative and entertaining as well. But remember, Burley enhances your chances. So please, remember this, keep your eye on the sky and you'll have tight lines.
But as sure as yappies bite your toes, this boyhood story had to end.